The 4 secrets that I'm going to share with you in this video will completely change your dating and relationship life with women. If you haven't been doing these things around women, then you're going to get more respect, more sex, more love than you've probably ever experienced before with women, right? So some guys out there, they know these things, and as a result, they have a very easy time with women. They can get themselves a girlfriend, they can get laid, and they can maintain a woman's attraction in a relationship like it's the easiest thing in the world for them. Yet, at the same time, there are so many guys out there who struggle when it comes to women, and they have a difficult time, right? They struggle to get laid or get a girlfriend, or they struggle to maintain a woman's interest in a relationship, and they end up looking at women as this unsolvable, complex mystery, right? What do women want? How do you get them to like you? How do you get them to want you sexually? How do you maintain their interest? So if you've been feeling a bit lost when it comes to women and you haven't been getting the results that you want, here's what you need to know. Number 1, most women are way easier to attract and be with than they make themselves out to be. So if you ask a woman, what do you want in a guy? What sort of traits do you want? What sort of guy would you marry? And so forth. She's going to give you a huge list of traits, right? Tall, rich, handsome, famous, this, that, and so forth. She's going to list off all sorts of things. Yet the reality is, with most women, they instantly just get rid of pretty much everything on their list if they meet a guy who makes them feel attracted, right? So if he's confident and charming, or confident, charismatic, a bit funny, or if he's confident and masculine and he creates a sexual vibe between him and her, then in many cases, not all, but in many cases, the woman will throw out her fantasy list of what she was saying she would accept, and she'll happily get with the guy who doesn't even have maybe 10% of the things she said a guy would need to have in order to be with her. Now, don't get me wrong though. There are women out there who, for example, will only get with a rich guy who's tall, muscular, and sometimes even famous, right? There are women out there who will only get with a ball player, or only get with a famous movie star or something like that. They'll only get with a guy who is really high status in that regard. Those women do exist, yet the majority of women will happily get into a relationship and settle down with a normal, everyday guy. Some guys might look at the couple and think, what is she doing with him? Right? Why can't I get a girl like that? What's going on? How did he get her? And for some guys, they assume that the guy must be rich. It must be that he's a millionaire. It must be that he's loaded. But the reality is that if you look around at the amount of millionaires in capital cities around the world, it's usually less than 5%. And the majority of rich men aren't young guys. Most rich men have already settled down and have a family, and many are very old. So what does a woman do? She gets with one of the 99% of guys who are just getting by in life, doing okay, or doing fairly well. As a couple, they pay bills together, they save up for a house, they save up to go on holidays, and so on. Sure, in most cases, she would love it if she got the ball player, or if she got the guy who was tall and had that perfect body and was a model and so forth, and he was rich as well. Yet, not only are those guys so rare, but the fact is that many women don't actually feel like they deserve or could keep a guy like that interested in a relationship. They don't actually feel like they match up with that. Even though the girl is pretty, right? She would rather get with a guy who's just a normal, everyday guy, so she then feels safe that, okay, he loves me, he wants to be with me, and we can build a future together. We can have a family, we can stay together, and so forth. So it's important that you understand that most women are way easier to attract and be with than they make themselves out to be. This also applies to when you're in a relationship. Many women in relationships will often end up behaving as though they are really difficult to impress and attract. The guy doesn't know how to handle it when his woman isn't being reassuring, isn't being affectionate, isn't showing lots of interest. He sees her showing less interest, and then he feels like, okay, he's got to do more and more, and he's got to be super impressive. He's got to buy her lots of things, and he's got to clean up the house, and he's got to do all these extra things to hopefully make her feel attracted. But the reality is that women are extremely easy to attract if you actually know how to be confident in the moment with her and not feel uncomfortable, right? When there is that bit of tension between you and her, where you're interacting with her and she's not being reassuring and there's that tension there. Are you going to become uncomfortable? She's looking at you in that moment. Are you going to start feeling nervous and unsure of yourself? Or are you able to maintain your confidence regardless of how she's behaving? Additionally, sometimes in a relationship, a woman will act like she's not impressed by a guy's behavior, right? She's not feeling attracted. She'll act like it's not having an effect on her, right? That's part of a woman's natural instinct to not always be reassuring to a man, right? She wants to make sure that she's with a man who can remain strong no matter what, right? He's not a boy type of man who needs constant reassurance from his mother that he's doing a good job, right? She wants to put some pressure on him to see if he can maintain his confidence so she can feel safe in the relationship. Some guys who are naturally good with women, they get that, right? They understand that, and it's not difficult for them. They just maintain their confidence, and the woman is impressed. She is attracted to them. But many guys struggle with that, and they look at the behavior of women as meaning that women are extremely difficult to attract and impress. But the reality is that women are extremely easy to attract and impress. Additionally, when it comes to dating, most women are way easier to attract and pick up than they make themselves out to be. So when you see a woman that you find attractive, don't automatically think that you're not good enough for her. You couldn't make her feel attracted. You've got to understand that there are guys out there who are just normal, everyday guys who understand how to attract women during interactions by being confident, charismatic, charming, masculine, funny, flirtatious, things like that. And they just attract a woman and get into a relationship with her, or attract a woman and have sex with her. And the thing is, in many cases, the guy is not 100% confident, right? He's not an ultra confident guy, but the reason why he got her is that he actually gave himself a chance. Right, he was determined to give himself a chance. Sometimes, if you don't have the confidence, you just need to have the determination, right? I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to have a chat with her. I'm going to make her feel attracted. I'm going to get her number. I'm going to ask her out on a date, right? I'm going to invite her out for a drink. I'm going to invite her out for a coffee. And you just do it. You're determined to do it. And you might feel a bit nervous while you're doing it, like some of the guys who've gotten themselves a girlfriend. They're not necessarily the most confident guys, but they gave themselves a chance. Number 2, having the skill of being able to attract women on purpose rather than just relying on luck is the key to dating and relationship success with women. The thing is, in most cases, when you meet a woman, you have to create sparks of attraction inside of her, right? You can't just rely on hopefully getting lucky, right? You talk to a woman and hopefully she likes you for some reason, right? Instead, you need to actively create feelings of attraction inside of her by displaying some traits that are naturally attractive to women, such as confidence, masculinity, charm, charisma, and so on. And the thing is, some guys know how to do that, whereas other guys think like, what? I've got to be confident, I've got to be charming, and so forth. That sounds like a lot. But the analogy that I like to use is that it's like when you first learned how to drive a car, right? When you sat in the driver's seat and you were being told what you need to do, there was a lot to think about, right? You got to think about the gear, the turning light, the indicator. You got to think about the brake, the gas pedal, the accelerator, whatever you call it in your country. And you got to think about the road rules. You got to look at your mirrors, and you're driving along and reacting to what's going on around you, right? There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to process, but then you get used to it. And you just drive the car without even really having to think about it, right? You're a good driver. You know how to drive a car, no problem, right? But it's actually a complex skill that you've developed, right? And it's the same with being able to attract women. It might sound like a lot to hear that you need to be able to display confidence. You need to be able to display some masculinity, display some charm, display some charisma, add in some humor, be able to flirt. That sounds like a lot. But as soon as you know how to do it, and you start doing it, it becomes a natural thing for you. It's an automatic reaction. It's an automatic ability. You have that skill. And other guys look at you and they think, what the heck is he doing? What is he saying? How does he do that? How does he get the girl to like him so easily? And it doesn't make any sense to them. So they assume, oh, she must think he's good looking or something. Or maybe he's rich. Or maybe he's got a big dick or something. That's why she likes him. She must know. Yet the reality is that if you know how to attract women during an interaction, then they feel attracted to you, they like you, and they want to be with you because they're feeling attracted to the traits that you're displaying. If you don't ever learn and then master the initially complex skill of being able to attract women, which then becomes easy and automatic, then it's always going to be a huge hit and miss game for you, right? You're going to be relying on luck. Hopefully this girl likes me for some reason. Hopefully she stays interested on the date. Hopefully she stays interested in a relationship. Hopefully she doesn't cheat on me because she stays attracted to me for some reason. If you approach your life with women that way, it's basically like driving blind, right? You got a blindfold on, just going, all right, I hope that I don't crash, right? And obviously you're going to crash. The same applies with women, right? If you're just going by blind luck, you're going to get rejected. The woman's going to lose interest. She's going to break up with you or cheat on you, and it's not going to be fun. But if you understand how to attract women when you're interacting with them and you develop that initially complex skill, then you're set for life. Women immediately feel attracted to you when you meet them. They feel attracted to you when you begin dating. They feel attracted to you when you're in a relationship, and they remain attracted to you. As I said though, some guys know this stuff naturally, right? They're naturally good with women. And what that means is that from an early age, they just start to understand it. They start to understand how to behave around women, how to react to them. They understand what women mean by their behavior, right? When women seem like they're being mean or rude, the guy sees that, okay, she's just testing my confidence, right? She wants to see if I'm going to get nervous now. The guy gets it from a very early age, when he's in his teens usually, and he starts to become successful with women, and he gets it, and he just continues on. And he understands that stuff naturally. But so many guys out there don't get it, right? They don't understand the behavior of women. They don't understand what it takes to make a woman feel attracted. They're essentially just trying to hopefully get lucky, not get rejected by luck, not get friend zoned by luck, not get cheated on or dumped by luck. And that is no way to approach your life as a man. You've got to take control of the situation by understanding how to attract women. Number 3, women want and expect you to pursue them in a relaxed, confident manner. So don't ever think that you're doing something wrong by following through and making something happen with a woman. You leading the way for you and her is impressive, attractive, and enjoyable for a woman. By the way, leading the way doesn't mean that you do all the work and she doesn't have to do anything, say anything, or show any interest. Instead, leading the way means that you take on the masculine role of having the courage or the balls to move things from one step to the next, rather than waiting and hoping that she, quote unquote, mans up and leads both you and her to dates, sex, and a relationship. So on this topic, a guy recently commented essentially asking, what do you do when a girl says that she'll text you or call you after you've met her and then she doesn't call you, she doesn't text you? And my response to him was that you've got to understand that women are not men. Women don't have to, quote unquote, be the man and take on the role of the one who's going to lead the way and make something happen. Additionally, generally speaking here, women are a lot different to men in that if a man says, all right, I'll call you next week or I'll text you tomorrow, right? He usually wants to do that because we men, we like to be a man of our word. Right? A man says he's going to do something, he does it. Yet, generally speaking, the way that it works for women when it comes to dating is that if a woman says that she's going to contact you and she doesn't contact you, it means that in the moment, she felt like, yeah, I'm going to text you, I'm going to call you. But then later on, she didn't feel like doing that because she felt anxious or unsure or something like that. Essentially, women tend to just go with how they feel, rather than, okay, let's be logical here. Let's be serious. I said I was going to text him, so I'll be a man and text him. That's not how women behave, right? Instead, it's, I said I would text him, but I don't know. I don't know if I should. Maybe I'll seem too keen. Maybe he'll reject me. I'm not really feeling confident about it. Maybe I'll just wait and see if he texts me. Like, if he really likes me, then he'll text me. She's a girl. She's a woman. They are different to us, right? They don't feel the same way that we do. They don't have the high level of testosterone running through their system like we do, right? They have a low level of testosterone and a high level of estrogen, which makes them feel differently, makes them think differently, makes them behave differently. Additionally, the sexual pursuit area of a man's brain is 2.5 times larger than in a woman's brain. So that means women tend to be more passive when it comes to dating and the pursuit of sex. It doesn't mean that they don't want to date or have sex, doesn't mean that they don't want to be in love and so forth. Instead, most women simply wait for a man to make them feel attracted and to be interested enough in them to then move things forward. So if a woman doesn't text you or call you when she said she was going to text you or call you after you've met, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not, okay, she's rejected me, she's ghosted me, she lied to me. She's untrustworthy. She's unreliable. No. She's just being a woman, right? You've got to be the man and make something happen. Now, at the start of the video, I said that these secrets will help you get more sex, respect, and love. And I'll directly explain how that applies here in this particular example. So first with dating and then with relationships, right? So with dating, if a guy feels like, okay, the girl said to me that she would contact me and she didn't contact me, that's disrespectful towards me. And if I were to contact her now, I'm going to be disrespecting myself. She's going to think that I'm a desperate guy. She's going to lose respect for me for contacting her because I'm going to look desperate and so forth. Then he's not going to be getting the respect that he wants. He's not going to be getting the sex that he wants and the love that he wants. Yet, if he is a strong, confident man and he understands why women behave in the ways that they behave, then he's going to have the confidence and masculinity to follow through and make something happen with her, which is going to make her respect him. Right? She respects the fact that he didn't get all weird about it. He didn't get sensitive. He didn't get defensive. He didn't get angry at her. He didn't just give up. He knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. Right? You might have heard women say that about men before. I like a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. Or I like a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to get it. Right? They say that all the time. And this is part of what it means. That if you want something, go and get it. Don't be afraid. You're not desperate in her eyes for being the masculine one and actually making something happen between you and her, right? As I said, women want you to pursue them in a confident, relaxed manner. That is a lot different to a guy pursuing a woman in a needy way, in a desperate way. I've got to get a chance with this girl. Like, why aren't you answering my calls? Please answer, and so forth. Pursuing in a needy way isn't attractive. That's not what women want. But pursuing in a confident, relaxed manner means that you're being the man. You're making something happen for you and her, right? She wants it too. She wants love. She wants sex. But in many cases, the woman needs you to be the man and make it happen. In terms of relationships, a lot of guys end up getting less respect, less love, and less sex from their woman by either pursuing her in a needy way, a clingy way. They want to get sex from her. They need it. It becomes this thing that she has to give. Or the guy gets annoyed with her and just gives up, right? He's just like, well, I'm not even going to pursue. Right? She's not showing me interest. I'm not going to show her interest, right? If she's going to be like that, I'll be like this. And he becomes sensitive, right? But what actually works is when you're able to maintain your confidence and masculinity and pursue her in a confident, relaxed manner. Now, if you're making her feel a lot of attraction and respect and love in the relationship, she's going to pursue you as well. But there are going to be times when she is not pursuing, especially as her hormones change throughout the month. Women go through a hormonal cycle, and as a result, they don't always behave in the same way, right? We men, we feel an even level of testosterone throughout the month. We pretty much have a consistent level of desire. It doesn't ebb and flow like a woman's. Right? A woman has different levels of desire depending on where she is at in her menstrual cycle. So there are times in a relationship where even if a woman feels a lot of attraction for you, a lot of respect and a lot of love, she still won't feel that confident or that motivated to follow through, right? She'll need a bit of stimulation. She'll need you to have an interaction with her and make her feel attracted, to build up some desire in an interaction with you and her. And then she turns on, then she gets into the mood, then you have sex, and she respects you so much more because you're able to do that. You understand that women are not consistent in their hormones like men, and you also understand that women feel turned on by a man who has the courage, the confidence, the masculinity to pursue a little at times. That said, it is possible to create and maintain a relationship dynamic where a woman also pursues you and initiates sex with you, of course. However, you must know how to properly attract a woman to achieve that in the long run. It might happen by luck initially, but it doesn't last if a guy is hoping that it just continues by luck. You have to understand how a woman's attraction works, so you then display the behaviors that not only maintain her attraction, but naturally and automatically build on her attraction for you over time. Number 4, women don't want you to base your confidence on how much interest they show you. So this applies to approaching women in person, being on a date, having sex with a woman, being in a relationship with a woman, and even when you're texting her for the first time or you're texting her on a dating app. Women don't want you to base your confidence on how much interest they are showing you. To be truly successful with women, you need to have independent confidence. And that means that you're confident regardless of how a woman is behaving or other people are behaving. If you don't have independent confidence and you have what I call dependent confidence, where you can only feel confident if a woman is being reassuring, then women you really like will lose interest in you. The woman will sense that you need her to be more reassuring, which most women don't want. They don't want to paint themselves into a corner and be in a relationship with a guy who needs that constant pat on the back and the reassurance that yes, I do find you attractive, I do love you, and constantly reassuring him of that. Right? Women want to be with a guy who is going to be confident regardless of how they are behaving. And that comes from an instinctive understanding inside the woman where she knows that she isn't consistent. Right? She knows that her feelings and mood and behavior ebb and flow throughout the month based on where she's at in her menstrual cycle. Additionally, when you're interacting with a woman for the first time, say at a bar, a party, or something like that, you shouldn't ever base your confidence on how much interest she is showing you. Right? She doesn't want to see that you need her to reassure you in order for you to feel confident, because instinctively she knows that if she gets into a relationship with a guy like that, he's most likely going to become insecure and clingy in the relationship. It's not going to be fun for her because she's going to have to constantly reassure him. What women ultimately want is to be with a man who is going to be confident regardless of how she's behaving. When you're able to be like that, you get more sex, more respect, and more love from women, right? They naturally respect you because they don't have to pat you on the back and reassure you in order to make you feel confident. They naturally feel attracted to you and want to have sex with you because they sense that you're most likely going to remain confident in a sexual encounter with her, right? You're most likely going to move with a bit more confidence. You're most likely going to touch her with more confidence. And as a result, she's going to feel more attracted to you. Additionally, when a woman feels a lot of respect and attraction for you when she first meets you, it's natural for her to start to develop some loving feelings towards you. Same with on a date and then during sex. And if you're able to maintain that in a relationship, she not only falls in love with you, but she remains in love with you. As I said earlier in the video, some guys understand this stuff naturally. When they're very young, they grow up and they just grow into it and they're able to do it. But there are so many guys out there who struggle with this. And if you need help with this, I have 3 programs that you can choose from in each particular category. So the first one is the flow, and that's the easiest way to get laid or get a girlfriend if you're interacting with women in person, right? You want to make them feel attracted and go from one step to the next. The flow includes my best ever examples of what to say to start conversations, keep conversations going, make women feel attracted to you, initiate touch, initiate a kiss, initiate sex, get a date, have sex on the first night or sex on the first date. All of it. It's how to flow from one step to the next with a woman that you find attractive. The next one is text attraction. So that's when you're attracting women via text, whether you meet them online on a dating app or if you've gotten her number in person. It's the ultimate guide on how to attract women via text for dates, sex, and relationships. And finally, make her love you for life. This is how to make a woman feel sexually attracted to you, be in love with you, and respect you for life in a relationship. She does not want to leave you. She loves you more, she respects you more, and she feels more attracted to you as the relationship continues. Her feelings do not fade away. If you want to avoid rejection, avoid being put in the friend zone, avoid being dumped or cheated on, make sure that you understand and master the initially complex skill of being able to attract women. A skill that will become as automatic for you as driving a car, right? You know how to do that. You're a good driver. And when it comes to women, you can be highly skilled at attracting women. You can master this area of your life. It doesn't have to be a mystery for you anymore.